Cookie, what's your real name? Courtney.
Yeah,
But you don't like people call you Courtney?
I don't mind.
Okay, Courtney.
You know what I'm referred to as Cookie. We cool.
Okay. All right, Courtney. Courtney, your last name?
Bar four.
Okay, write that down for me.
All right. Oh, yeah, look at my bio.
Oh, I know we on, right? Yeah, that's all right. Everybody's seeing how we do. This is how it is. They see what's happening. All right, there we go. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, 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 everybody. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. I am so excited here again, another day for us to have a choice and a voice, for us to be those positive thinking people that we want to be. As I say, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. People to people, that's me, you, and them, and whoever you want them to be. Power to power, the power they possess, the power we possess. The power we possess together makes us what? Positive thinking people. So guess what? I am not. I'm so excited. There's so much been going on. I got a beautiful young woman in the hot seat with me today. She's her real name is Courtney, for everybody that know her. But we call her Cookie. I just had because I call her Cookie. I just had to ask her, say, "What's your real name?" Because we don't call her by a real name. But welcome, Miss Cookie. How you doing?
I'm good. It's funny that you say that because I used to get awards and things. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I used to get like called up awards or be called out at shows or performances, even throughout high school and stuff. And they would always say Courtney. And the crowd would be like, "Who the heck is Courtney?" And then I walk up there and it's like, "Oh, it's Cookie."
Cookie.
And everybody like shouts. It's like you would think, "Oh, nobody knew me," but I started using my real name because of that. So here I am.
Well, Courtney is a beautiful name.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of look like a Courtney.
My mother said she picked it before I was born, so maybe she knew a little something.
Something before, yeah. So, really today is we're representing it's Women History Month,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is what we're trying to do is we're trying to be very committed to acknowledging things that are necessary to help us to move forward as individuals and to also show gratitude to those who have did things for us along the way. So before we get started, I want to put the number out. It's 703-752-6120. If you want to call in and ask some questions, it's 703-752-6120. And I'll put the Cash App out a little later.
People on my Instagram live is set up, so they might post questions in the comments there too. So you can encourage that.
Okay. So yeah, so we you actually doing live on Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm excited, yo. So everybody's really getting ready to see us on all different levels. We coming in from whole two different levels. Okay, that's really so powerful. So here again, I got Miss Cookie in the house. Yeah, if her mom and them was in the house, they'd be Courtney. Oh, but they probably wouldn't even say that either. They'd be calling Cookie too. Yeah. So it's being Women's Month. You know why I'm hesitating? Because I'm trying not to say black women. You know, like it's supposed to be. You know, normally.
Yeah, it's like February, March put together. Black Women's History Quarter.
Right. You know what I mean? But we talking about women, all women.
Yeah.
So how long has this Women's History Month been going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no answer
Well,
to that question.
you know what? And if I don't know, could you Google that for me? I want to find out. Because I was talking to somebody and I was telling them I had a guest coming on and we're going to be representing the Women's Month and Women's History Month. And they was like, that's right, it is. And I was like, it is? And they was like, yeah. And I said, well, they don't really advertise it like that. So I was really glad that you brought that to my attention for us to represent. So, kudos to you. So what do that means to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yes.
You know, I'm still figuring that out for myself. What is Women's History? What does Black History Month mean? I'm a woman every day of my life, except when I was a little girl. But you get the point.
Right.
So yeah, it's like what is that? It's empower. It's a month of empowering women. It's a month of reminding us, recognizing the things that women have done for this world, for our communities, for our society, and our households. So that's a lot of yeah. That's where I'm at with it right now. But
I have that info. It started in 1981 when Congress passed the law.
So in 1981. Okay, so that's when we started having Women History Month.
yeah, what law did they pass? Does it say? I'm pretty sure it has something to do with women's rights.
Well, you know what?
Or not.
It's so funny that
Or
women
maybe y'all know, but
women been struggling to get recognized in certain positions for many years, just like many other people in this country have struggled to get recognized.
yeah,
And it's really funny that I want to say to all the women, I say to all the women out there that I think you're the closest thing to God. I really believe that. I no disrespect to my Lord, my Creator, Jah. No disrespect, but when I say that, it's because I can't reproduce.
yeah,
I can support you in reproducing, but I can't
Yeah,
reproduce,
that's
and I
right.
can't carry an egg and make it become a human.
hmm
And I'm sure if they could have done that, they would already put it in some men so that they can see them. We don't have no problem with getting a big stomach, but we sure don't have no babies come out
I
of
don't
it.
know about that part, but yeah.
Yeah. So just a little bit. So you, again, being a woman, how do you find that a struggle for you?
A struggle? No. So, and it's funny because I grew up. I was like a really girly little girl because or not even really girly. I wore dresses and stuff because my mom put me in dresses and stuff. And then I got to that age where you realize you can do what you want a little bit, which is like right around the age of 7, 8. And you start dressing yourself, and I went like straight tomboy. It was like I didn't want earrings, I didn't want dresses, I wanted pants. I was trying to be the fastest kid on the playground. I was like trying to be the one with the strongest punch. Trying to in gym class, the first one to the top of the rope climb. I was the little tomboy. And then get into like the puberty stage, and it's like, okay, this don't really work for this. So let me go back to the earrings my mother first tried to put on me, and then getting to this. So kind of being like, okay, well, like I like girl stuff, but not really embracing it, and then going through college and stepping into the world, and it's like there's so it's being a woman is like this. I don't. It's this very gracious thing I see in a lot of older women that I knew, and it was like, oh, I wanna feel that. I wanna be that. So now I'm in this stage of, and I'm like pushing 30. It's great. But I'm in this stage of like embracing all my womanhood. It's like from the way that I dress to the way that I present myself. It's like, oh no, we're gonna modestly show all the curves because these are pieces that make me woman. This is how I move through life in like grace and giving and all of that stuff. So those are yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely love it.
really, I find it so amazing. Now, so I don't like to I don't like to sugarcoat things. I like to keep it real. I've been so fascinated with the woman's body from the day I was able to really realize the difference that it was a boy and a girl. And one of the things that really fascinate me is that y'all possess this power
Yeah.
over men to a level where, you can make us want to be Hercules. And so when is it that you start to realize that you have that power?
Ooh. Mm, when is it? I don't know. For me, a lot of my stuff came with spoken word in general. So I'm a spoken word artist, and seeing how walking in that purpose, and then purpose in other areas of my life, kind of brought this light out in people, and this joy, and these smiles, and this power in other people. And so it's like as I'm walking in this purpose, in this sense, being a woman, it's the ability to not only influence youth, but women that walk alongside me, and then men at the same time. It's like, yo, this is so yeah. I would yeah. When I connected to walking in my purpose, and with that, seeing the power that all that being a woman kind of can do for not just me as a woman, not just for a man, but for the world in general. It's like, oh, we got superpowers. Like,
Excuse me. One of the things that I realized when my daughter was born, the female. I have two sons, but when my daughter was born, the power started right then. I got my little girl.
yeah,
And then I thought about my mother. I got my mom. Thought about my grandmother. I got my grandmother. I'm talking things that made me want to be strong, made me want to be powerful.
yeah,
I'm not saying men don't give that to, we get all that, but it was something about the female. Even with my children's mothers,
yeah,
they had a way of making me be a certain way. They could take me all the way to the edge and make me feel like I want to jump off of it. And sometimes it made me feel like I could pick up any big tree or rock and move it just to impress them.
yeah. And that, oh man, it's funny that you go back to that, because for you to ask me, how do you feel like, when did you see this power? And it's like, okay, it's later in my life, but as I listen to your examples and I think about my dad and my brother and just guys that I know in general, and the things that they feel empowered to do because of a girl or because of a woman in their life or because of their mom, it's like, oh, it does start like super early. It's like we don't even realize or recognize the power or the influence that we're having over a man in those moments. It's like it takes us looking, okay, I purpose this, but not even recognizing that piece. And then you go into Women's History Month and it's like, hey, call me out, y'all.
Right.
If you want to remember anything that we've done for you, now is the time, other than my birthday. So.
Yeah. So I have a problem when we give a certain segment for certain things. Okay, so we get it's Women's History Month. Okay, but the woman is so powerful all the way out.
Yes.
The woman is always doing something to empower us. I believe that even with the presidents of the United States and other presidents on different levels, they lay down beside their significant other, mostly I'm sure are women, and they say, babe, yo, I think I'm going to do this. And she might say, baby, don't do that. And for real, to be her, that her voice did give him the reason. But here again, we talk about the power of women.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. So, I look at you and I say to all the women, first of all, I say thank you for what y'all have done for us to nurture us and help us and keep us moving forward. So, some of the things that is on my mind is, what do we tell some of the young females right now to prepare to become a woman? What do we tell a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl?
Yes.
Yeah. What do we tell them?
What do we tell them other than they are amazing and worth more than they can ever imagine or than anyone could ever tell them? I think it's a lot of that, like empowering them in their youth to feel beautiful. Like nowadays, the 7-year-olds that are growing up now are not the 7-year-olds from my time, and definitely not the 7-year-olds from your time. They are influenced by social channels and media, and the kids nowadays, the 7-year-olds look like 16-year-olds, and the 16-year-olds look like 30-year-olds, and they're operating in ways that are well beyond their time. But how do we empower them in the identities that they have now with the 7-year-old mind, with the 8-year play, have fun, you live, let's figure out what are things you're passionate about, what do you like, let's pour into that, let's build into that, let's remind her that she's beautiful, so she's not growing up looking for a certain type of attention or disregarding herself in a way. Like, how can we teach these babies, like teaching them how to embrace themselves and everything that they come with is yeah, key.
I mean, it's important that our young women understand the power. I keep it real. We talk about what a man, most males, what they want is that physical affection.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have our young women understanding that that's not how you really have power.
Yeah.
The power is when you are a lady, when you are gentle, when you are like the flower that you don't want to ruffle.
Yes, that flower that can still like punch you in the throat if you play with us. But you know, yeah.
I saw you back there, Christy. Christy gave that look like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
We're a delicate flower. You're okay. But, there's also this lioness piece of us that will bite you. So.
Well, I believe me. I mean, I saw that in my mother.
Yeah, I know.
I saw that in my mom and my sisters too as well. It's just that I look at when we talk about the history of women, we got to get to a point where the young females are aware of how they can make a difference in their life at a young age, knowing that when they are ladies, when they're not letting little boys rub up on them and disrespect their body.
Yeah.
I'm a man, so can I keep it real? Can I keep it real?
You know.
As a little boy, that was part of my little idea with the girl down the street, across the street, the one that came to visit. I was like, man, I want to make her my girlfriend. And the first thing I wanted her to do is let me kiss her. And we want to, but is that really showing the woman respect? Is that really showing her respect when we want to physically show affection?
No, but then it's like, where did you get the mindset that affection is how you get to know a woman,
Right.
That physical affection is that thing.
See, that's through.
So there are other.
It's but that's probably through we watching other people's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when I was saying, what is it that we tell the young women today? How do we get them to really understand, keeping your virginity till you're married is beautiful. Not all of them gonna do that, but I'm saying if you could, it's a gift.
Yeah.
Having it so that the man respects your body is another gift.
Yeah.
And
It's just not up to us for a man to respect our body. We can.
go ahead, say that again.
It's not our call for a man to respect our body. That's a choice a man has to make. It's like we can present ourselves in which way, we can present ourselves in ways that are modest or ways that show that we have respect for ourselves. But even me dressing like this can cause somebody if a man chooses to disrespect me like this or in any type of way, like it's definitely up to him.
But at the same time, it's also up to the woman.
It's like, will I allow you to disrespect me? No. So that's when you may disrespect us in whatever and however we present ourselves. But my response to that is like a big thing too. So.
Because we looking at the power of women.
Yeah.
We got a lot of women out there that allow men to beat on them and abuse them. What makes a woman get to that level? Low self-esteem?
That's funny. No, I've been in a situation like that, so it's funny that you say that. And I don't think I had low self-esteem. It was for me. There are people with low self-esteem. Sometimes I mumble when I talk, but I know there are also people who do not. And this was my case. Not identifying with my worth in a way to, like, I could go out there and fight for everybody else, and then I could meet somebody. So there's this guy, and it's like you meet him, and you think everything okay, cool and kosher, and then I'm thinking, all right, I am sharing I'm expressing myself, I'm sharing my emotions, etc. You expect people to respect that, so I'm expecting this man to respect that. And instead, it's like, okay, I'm going to respect it for like an hour or a day. And then I'm going to go against what you asked me to do or what you told me to do or what you requested of me. The standard, the boundary, whatever that you set. And my brain, instead of, all right, I'm going to reiterate this, I used to shut down because in my brain, my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts didn't matter. And those came from lies that I chose to stick on from my youth. It was like those are things I believed when I was little based on the way that my parents spoke to me, based on the way that my family treated me, and just experiences growing up. So I had these lies in my head that my opinions, my worth, all of that, me, Cookie, and herself did not matter. So Cookie could express herself, but if somebody disregarded what she already expressed, instead of Cookie fighting for herself, she was like, okay, I'm gonna just wait till the next time, my next avenue out and try again, instead of just, now I'm about to be loud about it and repeat what I said to fight for me. So yeah, so there's this like identity thing, like with knowing your worth, when we have to know what we're worth, who we are, and all that stuff. Knowing that my feelings matter, knowing that my voice matters, knowing that my perspectives and all of those things matter. It's like, if I can see myself in that way, then it's like, okay, I may be in a situation where you're going to disrespect me once, but you're not about to do it again.
Right.
Because I'm not going to stand to be here for you to do it again, in a sense.
Right.
So,
and that's many women out there that need to understand. You know, you gotta demand your respect. You gotta put it where a person looks at you and say, "Yo, she's not gonna tolerate that."
yeah.
And so many women. And I can't tell you how to be a woman because I'm a man.
No, I don't know. I'm just like, it just comes with, you got to know we have to know who we are enough to stand on, like, this is who I am. This is who God told me to be. This is the work that I know that I have, and be able to stand in that, and all things, like all that moving in fear stuff, like, every lie from your child, every lie that's in your head that's keeping you from walking freely and openly and fully in what is you. Like, we gotta find a way to kill all of that to get to a point of, okay, yeah, now I'm not about to stand here and allow you to disrespect me. Now I'm not about to tolerate certain things. But if you don't identify or know or respect or see worth in yourself, like, I'm out here fighting for everybody else, and I can see people going through the same things that I'm going through, and fighting for them and speaking up for them and advocating for them, but because I saw that they were worth it, but I didn't see myself as worth it. So it's all them pieces that go into that. It's more than, yeah, I want to demand respect, but I can demand respect once and think that's enough. But if I don't see myself as deserving of that respect, I'm not about to demand it again. So
and then at that point somebody can take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you wonder if don't bless the Lord.
So also, who is, like, as far as women that have inspired you in your life?
Oh, interesting. Who are the women in my life? A lot of them are ladies that I went to. So I love Jesus, and I've been to a couple fellowships. People refer to that as church.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. When I was growing up, it was one of my aunts, my mom's younger sister. I absolutely adored this lady. I thought she's so cool. She's still cool. She's like the cool aunt. Shout out to Aunt Margie. But seeing the way that she moved, her confidence and stuff was something that kind of drove me. And then getting to this place of faith and being around more gracious, like these gracious older ladies who were like, oh, hey, baby, hey, sweetheart, like them. And it's like this strength, I'm always attracted to, like, a woman's graciousness. The way that she can gracefully move through situations, speech, and all of that, like the ability to stay calm. So there's one lady, oh man, do I even remember her name? This is sad. But I know one for sure. There was this lady named Miss Paula, she is I absolutely adore this older lady. And then it's like, I'll be looking at these older people and be like, adopt me, take me in, like, let me be your niece, your grandbaby, your whoever. And then I can also give credit to my mom, because even growing up, my teenage years were like, I was like that child that she probably wanted to get rid of. But before all that, I used to watch her, like, walk out in this confidence and this boldness and this strength and this grace and this ability to be calm in all types of chaos and be like, she's a whole superwoman. So, all of the pieces of these ladies have been a strong pillar for me.
Here with me, that a lot of the things that has affected my life has more so been affected, or things that was given to me by women. You got something for me over there, ladies?
Yeah, we have a Rachel love this young
Oh,
lady.
it's her daddy. It's my
She
friend.
says, I met Cookie briefly and immediately realized to her kind, loving,
She's so
pure
cute.
spirit that is reflected by her smiling face. Angela Gomez says, good evening. She says, yep, real as you can get, Rodney. She says, shoot, are there any out there? Katrina McMurray says, greeting everyone. Anadi says, yes, women got to demand their respect and accept no compromise on that.
Mhm.
Beth Roots is here. She says hello. Walter says, good evening, PTP family, Rodney and Zena. And I think that is it.
So, getting back to the thing about women and it's Women Month and stuff like that. So, when I think about women, the first woman that really comes to my mind, the first woman come to my mind, I know people would think I would say my mother.
Mhm.
It was my grandmother.
Oh my God, grandmothers are the best.
The grandmothers
I'm just
are
looking
the
for somebody to
yeah,
adopt
yeah.
me,
Now,
but,
now,
you know.
don't get me wrong. My mom is my baby. That's my heart. I love my mama.
Grandma.
But grandma kind of set a tone for me that was, that I could not lie to my grandmother. I couldn't let my grandmother see me do
it
wrong.
bad.
Yeah. My mother will whoop my behind, but grandma, she gave me
Your
this.
heart be broken. You
It be
like, I don't want to break her heart.
exactly. I changed a lot of things in my life because of my grandmother and the history that she had established as a woman, and many people out there can say that. Also, I want to do a shout out to all the women that was on the 500 block of Payne Street. Just to name a few: Miss Fisher, Miss Q, Miss Johnson, Miss Harris, Miss Marie, Miss Coffee, Miss Sharp. These ladies were powerful women. Miss Gloria, Miss Virginia. I mean, these women were really a part of my development. Miss Ellen, they kind of like when I did something wrong, they taught me how to be a gentleman, not just from my mom, but these women. And when they talk about the power of the woman, it's phenomenal because y'all play such a big factor in our lives. And I'm talking about many fathers when they have a daughter, how the daughter can make the father want to straighten up when he's having all these problems, because that's his baby. You know what I mean? And then when you get married, oh my goodness, that power of the woman
The
then.
wife. The wife.
The wife start to take over and started making things change, but the power of women. Also, shout out to all the women like Miss King, Martin Luther King's wife, Coretta. We talking about Harry Tubman. We talking about Maya Angelou. We talking about some of the women's like Diana Ross in the music business who always walked like a queen. We talk about Aretha Franklin. We talking even about Whitney Houston. We talking about young women who right now are very, very powerful. Beyonce and Rihanna. These women are they have this power with them that makes things a little different.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about just a month, come on now, we got to think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I even one woman that I thought was straight up gangster, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, she was a gangster woman to me, but the power of women. Here we are today, just so many times that we should really be bowing down and saying thank you for the passion and love that so many women has done and what they've done to contribute to this country. And we shouldn't just let it be 1 month, because when we want to rest our head on their shoulders and cry, they are there to really nurture us and keep it. So now where we're at going into the future, something else that really bothered me with women though. Women, when they start to get to a point where they think that they don't need a man. How in the history did we get there?
I don't know how they had some bad experiences and they chose that story. Bring the husband. Bring him.
Yeah,
But-
I see. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know she's sitting over there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm tell you right now. I know somebody that would have been loved to be in this conversation. That's Christy Love sitting over there because I'm reading her head. I mean, I'm all in there because Christy is like over there talking about, yeah, right. I know some things, but I'm feeling you, Christy, because
it's crazy because women will go through experience and will go through things, and it's like, okay, well, I don't need him. You get that mindset, but it's really like, you really don't need that type of man. Maybe that's just not that wasn't the one that you need. Maybe there's another one that you may want, but yeah. So I kind of think about it. I think about that a lot with that too. Like we go through things and it'll have us cancel. Like I've been at the point where it's like I cancel dating. I'm not dating no more. If my husband isn't coming Amazon Prime straight to my doorstep, like I'm not doing this anymore. I know he's out there, but the ones I've been seeing is like I'm okay.
well, it's many women. Another woman I forgot to mention who I thought was superb, Michelle Obama. I thought that she was just epitome of a strong black queen.
Mm-hmm.
The way that she represented this country, how she walked, how she talked.
Still, look.
Yeah.
Still, Michelle. Just. Mm-hmm.
It was, so we look at some of the women and we can say, man, that's something. Also, to the women that's in the military, the women that's in our education system.
Yeah.
You know something else about women that really gets me?
No, tell me.
It's when they are into the Lord and they are very powerful in the Word.
Yeah.
A woman has a way of giving you the Holy Spirit at a level that you be like, it's piercing in your skin. A lot of times I thought that women couldn't be pastors and preachers and teachers at that level. But I have to say I was wrong because many women has taken us to a point where we got deep down inside of us to find out who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to all the women. Kudos to all.
Yeah.
I know you got something you want to tell some of them young ladies out there that's going to be able to say, yo, what should I do to be a powerful woman? If you could go back, name 3 things that you would do as a woman that would make you feel a little more powerful than you are right now.
Name 3 things that I would do as a woman that'll make me feel more powerful than I feel right now.
Yeah.
Do. What would I do? I may not have an answer for you right now. Name 3 things that I would do.
Or
I
you
could
wouldn't
go
have
back.
done.
Oh, wouldn't have done. I got a list for that. I got a list for that. No. Okay, hold on. Ooh. That would make me more powerful. I probably wouldn't have went through the whole tomboy phase for real.
Okay.
No, there's this. I think my main thing was this. So I used to disconnect myself with emotions. And doing that for so long got me to a point where now I'm kind of just figuring that out. But to think about myself in a way where I can identify emotions and embrace them in a way that I can connect better with other people. I think I'll just leave myself with that one. Reconnecting myself with emotions and emotional things earlier on.
Right.
So that right now I can be at a point where I can connect with people a little more. Be a little less numb towards certain things. So, yeah.
Powerful things for women to understand, for them understanding their emotions, because women are so emotional.
Are we? Because I'm not.
Yeah, well, I can tell you. I think that they are.
Oh, we can be.
Yeah.
Oh, we all can be. But y'all just got a way of not addressing yours that.
Well, we struggle, in a couple of weeks, I got a gentleman gonna come on. We're gonna do some man talk. I got something for you. I got something to tell the women. I got a message for them so they can understand, the real truth. Y'all think Steve Harvey was telling y'all something. I got something for you that's going to really take y'all to a different level. But I can say this. Here we are in the month of March. We got so many women that have done so many things. And we have to get to a point where we continuously respect them and show them love. I'm looking on it, it says, live the dream. That's Martin Luther King. The woman is living her dream today. They're in Congress. They're in the pulpits. They're driving buses. They doing many things that women used to didn't do.
Yeah, and you can see representation and stuff changing now. Whereas 20, 30, I can't even say 20 years ago no more. But decades, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you weren't seeing a lot of women like public facing, publicly recognize all that stuff. So right now, it's crazy because as much as little girls have this space to tap into things that it's like, no, baby, too early. They also have this room to see themselves being like, oh, this lady on TV looks like me. This lady in this magazine looks like me, and she's doing positive things. This lady in Congress, this lady in the community, at this office, in this store, like, to be able to see herself in positive ways. There's more room for them to see themselves in positive ways, and people that look like them, older women that look like them, to kind of encourage them to go be presidents and astronauts and all the things that they could do. So
you got something for me, Lady Z?
Yes, Katrina says when they started turning to other women for love, and she says many dismiss men because of mistreatment
she
of
referring
slavery.
to that man
Women are not slaves.
She referring to.
And Alicia Harrison says hello.
Hello, how do you feel it? So that's something that when we're talking about the abuse of women over the history of women in this country, but in the world, for many years, it was like the woman didn't have a say.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a little awkward, for you to realize that she nurtures you to a point where to make you be able to feel better and get up the next day to do what you're going to do, but yet she don't have a say.
Mm-hmm.
But in this day and time, that's totally different.
I'm gonna say that's what they saying every day. Yeah.
And so let me ask you this: on a platform of being a black woman, do women have this struggle among each other if you from different ethnic backgrounds?
I've seen it. I can't call it in my circles and the people that are close in my close communities, but I see it. I see the differences, whether it be ethnic, because it's like then you have this space of foreign women being being praised more than American women that are here and in their face, or women with certain types of the small differences that separate us. But it's just like you can think about it like the way they this country has like found ways to divide the black community. It's like, okay, we got dark skins and light skins and fathers and mothers. Like if we can keep them from being together, it diminishes their power. So it's like the same thing goes to the women. Yeah, we all identify as women, but if there are ways and things, and I'm spiritual, but I'm just like all of this is like enemy tactics. When you think about it, comes in to divide, because if you can think about women and all of our differences and all of our shades and all of our backgrounds, ethnicities, and all of that, if we were to really be in union and to be together in a sense, the impact that we can have on this world as women. But as much as we're divided because of those things, it's like, yeah, we're kind of holding ourselves back. So, but I see it. To answer your question.
Yeah. I just think that women struggle in so many ways. I know a few women that's struggling, and one of the things, as a man, I always want them to understand is that really you have a lot more power than you really know. Mm-hmm. And most men, we will manipulate a situation because we feel macho to try to overpower, a woman to be able to get her to submit.
Yeah. But that comes from an insecurity of a man.
Well, I don't find it to be the insecurity of the man because the man tried to dominate.
Is it a fight to dominate because he's insecure?
No, it's
Because of the power
it's
that
a it's,
he's
it's okay. Come on, now we can get rid of it. It's a no. It's
I'm like,
a
I've been
no.
in
You know what it is?
situations.
Let me tell you what it is.
What it is,
The
what
man
it
the
is.
man get into the situation where he want to control
Okay, but why does he want to control?
because he want what he
feels like
want.
if
Nah, he
she's
wants what
not
he
in
want.
Control, then he may be down. Like where it's an insecurity.
No, no. The man, what he does, we get into a position with the woman. We
Yeah.
want to control because we know that she can manipulate us with her sensitive.
So is it that?
Yeah,
It's not-
the sensitive aspect of her being.
Okay, I'll take that as one of the ways. Sometimes, but then you have men who can see a woman walking in power and walking in this she's blooming and be intimidated by that and choose to try to control her to keep her from being more powerful than he is.
Okay,
So
so
there are two ways. Of
no. Because you know what? Look. A lot of times I ain't gonna back down. So, but I'm gonna be truthful.
Yes, but no, we can say, but we can agree that there are both types of men.
Right. But no. The reason why I said I ain't gonna back down, but we're gonna be truthful. When I see a very, very powerful woman who's really confident within herself, it does intimidate me. It makes me have to really, really check my skills.
Yeah,
How I'm going to talk to her, how I'm going to handle her, because
it's like a challenge.
it's a challenge, and it's a fight that most men don't want to have. Because if a woman is sure of who she is, understand the power she possesses, she's almost untouchable. And many men would do almost anything to get next to her.
Yeah.
And she can say, yo, not today. But the power of the woman is powerful.
Yeah, and then it's crazy because it's like it's some saying about the superwoman. I don't remember what the quote is, but it's like, okay, we want to be out in the world and be powerful and superwoman, but we want to be able to come home and it's like, can I take my cape off and put my feet on your lap, please? Thank you. Can you run me over back, please? Like there's this opposite thing. It's like I don't want to come home and be another superwoman. I can for you. You know, I'm in your corner. I got your back. But I kind of want to chill and let you call the man to fix my fence. I don't want to make the phone call. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, with the history of women, we always look at women, we'll say, you know what, we know that y'all powerful,
Yeah.
but we got to keep you in this arena so you don't get too powerful and forget.
Hey, I'm here, boo. Hello,
you,
wife.
you know,
Hello.
you know what I mean? Every now and then we got to do that just
but
to
that
say.
comes with us assuring you guys in our walk of power. There's this assurance that we also have to give to the men in our life or the people that are around us in general, or if we have a significant other or a partner. There's an assurance that needs to come with that. It's like I should be my mindset should be in a space of I can go and do all this stuff, but I should still be able to assure you that no, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm in your corner, I got your back. Like I'm not just out here forgetting about you, so there's a balance or a rhythm of it that needs to happen so both parties are getting what they need.
Well, real quick, what I want to do is remind people, this is People to People with Rodney Grimes. My guest today is Miss Cookie, better known as Courtney sometime. That's her real name, but actually Cookie. Cookie is a phenomenal young woman who is just doing some fantastic things, but you're a poet as well.
I am a poet.
Now, see, I said I was going to test you on a little something before we shut it down, but I ain't going to get you yet. But
how much time we
yeah, so we what I'm saying is before we go down, I'm a poet too, right?
Okay.
So the other day I've heard you do your thing, and you're a beast, and I understand. So you can probably start to get prepared to come with me because we're gonna do a little poetry challenge thing about women history. Oh, you got something for me, Lady Z?
Oh, but the what? No, we not. We can just do poems. We don't gotta do it
No,
about the women's. Woo, I lost. I won, but I lost.
See, there you go. That woman power. She win anyway.
You just go. Yeah, I still won.
Yeah, look, the woman win anyway. Okay, go ahead, Lady Z. What you got for me?
First Beth said yes, intimidating. Katrina wants to know, Rodney, what advice would you give to a hurting woman? A woman is hurting, and Rachel wants to know, will Cookie talk more?
Rachel want to hear from Cookie.
Okay,
About her gift.
huh?
Oh, she said about her gift. Bless the Lord.
Oh, okay.
Talk more about your gift.
Okay. Who should I answer first?
Katrina.
What would I say to a woman that's hurting?
What would I say to a woman that's hurting?
What would you say to a woman that's hurting? What would you say?
What would I say to a woman that is hurting? What did I say to myself? It gets better. Healing is available to you. Healing is accessible to you. Like, you can reach out and touch it. What needs to happen? Yeah, there's all that. So healing is accessible. Community is powerful to get you to that place of healing. So,
You know what I would say to a woman who's hurting?
but cry, let her cry, and no,
Nah.
I would let her cry for a moment, but then you got to get up and all right, let's tap back into this power. But go ahead.
I would tell a woman that's hurting to understand that she is worthy to be treated like a queen at all times.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman is doing everything she could do to nurture anything or anybody around her, the hurt should not affect her.
What is she doing to nurture herself?
That's what she needs to do,
Yeah.
nurture herself. Take her points to a point where she knows that she has breasts that can feed. She has a womb that can produce a baby. She has a passion that could give love to a dying child or a dying man, that could be where she can forgive and still nourish him and take, and show some love and affection, because not men don't possess things like that, but women do. And when a woman is hurting, know your value, know who you are, know you are worthy. And believe me, if it's any man out there that try to make you feel less than a woman, he ain't the man for you, because there is a man out there that will respect you as a woman. And it don't have to be a lover. It could be,
a man either.
and well, it don't have to be a man either. But for a hurting woman, know your value. Know your value, because you're worthy. And for Rachel, talk a little bit more about your gift, because I thought Rachel was saying that I was talking too much. So I want, come on, talk a little bit more about your.
About which one? Which was so many things.
Wait, talk about your poetry.
There is, okay, we're going to go poetry, because photography and finance is like my baby. Those are my babies too. Shout out to Crunch Financials and Cookie Captors. But poetry, yeah, Cookie B. I write to, a mission with my writing is to, it's funny, when I got started because I wanted to learn how to talk to people. I used to be very shy, very reserved, I'm going to go sit in the corner, and if somebody walked past me, I might say hi. And I wanted to communicate with people more. I wanted to speak, engage with others in a way that helped them to see light, in a way that helped them to feel community and connected and all that stuff. And I said a prayer, and I was like, God, help me talk. And he was like, all right. And then this gift floated in my lap. Now I'm at this point where I write confrontational messages to provoke heart change towards truth. Most importantly, God's truth, to bring out the best pieces of us and you and me and everybody. So, yeah, that's a lot of it.
So the photography.
Or the gift, which one? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Photography.
So I mean, and then so all of that is just a part of who you are as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That does it empower you?
Absolutely. But the most empowering piece of it all comes with the spoken word stuff, the poetry. If I stop poetry, if I stop doing spoken word, if I stop writing, if I stop speaking, and moving in that area of my life, everything else, I feel like weak. I've been through in a season before where I had to recognize what this gift was for me. I refer to myself as Tony Stark. I love Iron Man, and Tony Stark. And if anybody knows Tony Stark, you know that Tony Stark has this piece in his armor that keeps his suit running. And that's how he saves the world. That's how he goes out and he's able to move and be Iron Man. But this thing also, he takes the suit off and this thing is still in him because that's how he stays alive too. So when I think of my spoken word, I think of myself as Iron Man, as Tony Stark in a sense. It's like, without this piece, one, I can't go out and save the world. Two, I can't be home and cultivate everything that I am. I won't be alive myself in a sense. So I think that answers your question. Yeah, but spoken word empowers me to be confident, to be reminded, to be assured of everything that I am, everything that I was placed on this planet to do, to cultivate. Even if I'm not doing spoken word, being in that space and walking in that purpose helps me to go on the job and, okay, I can walk in the boardroom and, hey, what's up? Be the first one to speak. I can walk into the restaurant, sit down and be seated and be ready to serve the waiter who is serving me. You know, I can walking to the park and see kids playing or in need of help and be the one to go because there's this confidence that's coming with me because of what spoken word speaks into me that helps me to push out all these other pieces and areas of my life.
I while you were saying, I was thinking about Maya Angelou. I can only imagine how powerful she felt as a woman because of the spoken word and her poetry and how she would present it. Could you do something for us?
Yeah. This is kind of, I guess it's woman related. I'll do something in regards to that. I wrote this for, there was a women's conference that I went to last fall, and they had a theme called Running in Stilettos. So this piece is about running in stilettos. I often refer to myself as Kate Spade and Adidas, in love with the prince of being healed, but also a sucker for my sneakers. The art of class and kick more like ready to dash or being bad. It is whatever fits my fancy, whatever builds my mood, and whatever keeps me dancing. Because if I can refrain from taking flat to the function and maintaining a desired level of comfort, that's goals. Dressed up and pretty, taking on the light and what's fitting to your being, to your inquisitive design and all that keeps you breathing. Do you know what it feels like to walk in what is freeing? Think walking tall without Sphinx. Unrestricted to I can'ts and taking every flaw and fear to the feet of the great I am. We watch movies wondering how the female beauty running for her life in heels can do it. Ignoring how we have a wardrobe of things that don't fit our making. Dressing ourselves daily in task roles and relations that do less building and more breaking. Some of us sit here now weighed down with wobbly ankles, waiting for someone or a man to appear, lift and save us. But I'm here to tell you about the power in your training, about the power in taking off what doesn't fit and what hinders what you're attaining. Running healed in beauty is as easy as walking bold and truly. You go through reruns and cuts until you perfect that thing enough to feel the freedom of all that fits. Imagine running for a life you don't need a vote for because God already voted and you're already it. You were born predestined amazing and your good wardrobe, that's in why you exist.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Again, for all the individuals who joined in, this is People to People with Rodney Grimes. My guest today is Miss Cookie. Miss Cookie is a poet. Miss Cookie is also, you're very educated too.
I got a little background in
What's a little bit of your background in your education?
I have an undergrad in mathematics, a STEM, what my friend called me the other day? You was one of them tag students. I was one of them tag students, them AP students, I went to school and majored in math students. That's who I was. So my background educationally is in finance, economics, business, management, operations, all of that. But then there's this big creative piece of my brain that's like, we love the people. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Again, for everyone that just joined in. Also, don't forget our Cash App is the $RG1960. We are definitely moving forward with doing some very powerful things. We got a lot of things that's prepared for us in the future. Miss Cookie has also got some things lined up for us that we're not gonna really.
We ain't gonna
Well,
get into
we ain't gonna
it,
get into it yet,
you
but
know, just
yeah.
keep on following and
Yeah, y'all got to keep tuning in. We got some powerful things coming. We got Christy Love this also because it's Women's History Month. We got Christy Love this also getting ready to get back in, coming on a regular basis on Let's Talk About It Wednesday. Isn't that right, Christy? Okay, and we got our life coach Hanadi Ali, who is also a powerful woman that we're going to be supporting and doing things to empower the women for the
That's a naughty. I love her.
the contribution that women gives. Again, it's this People to People with Rodney Grimes. Thank everybody for tuning in. I'm trying to tell you, it's been a rough evening. I think I'm getting a sinus thing or whatever. I ain't never had this problem before.
He decided to play in the leaves yesterday.
I decided to play in the leaves yesterday. But for everyone, I thank you for joining in. I thank you, Cookie. You're an amazing woman. I want people to know that I got a hell of a team of females that work with me.
Woo, woo.
And
Shout out
I'm
to
really
y'all.
happy about all of them that are contributing to us moving forward. Definitely Lady Z, who's always right there putting in the work. Shout out to Tiana, who was working the boards, who trained baby girl Maya, who's here now doing this, who is like phenomenal, and she's making history because she's building us from a different perspective.
Yeah.
What you got?
We have one final comment. Clement Smith says men have a tendency to be jealous of a successful woman, but should happen, we need to support her and be a loving man to push them forward.
Well, hey, you know what? To all the men out there, we have a lot of men that will get jealous when they see their woman is moving forward. But that's something that the man got to deal with.
Yeah, it is.
See, I can look in the mirror and I'm not going to be jealous of any woman, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold her, caress her, love her, and treat her like a queen so she would keep helping me to feel like a king.
Yeah.
Most men who want to downplay a woman, he has a lot of growing up to do. I believe that 100%. All the women out there that has contributed to us in the history of us being relevant in this world, I say thank you. It's Women History Month. Y'all need to tune in. We got a few other individuals going to be coming to represent. Also on Wednesday, we're going to have a 2-hour show. We got 2 different entities coming. We're going to have we have the prophet Sherman Harris going to be here, which is going to be a powerful program. And then the young lady, Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
What's Alicia's last name?
She don't go by it.
Oh, she don't. Uh-oh. Alicia don't even say her last name. See, that's another powerful woman coming in. But we want to say thank you. God bless everybody. Y'all continue to be safe. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people.